Howdy, Night Guard. While I'm here, I'd like to discuss something that's been on my mind. Why are eggs so disgusting? I mean, it really all depends on how they're prepared, but most of the time they're absolutely gross. It's kind of weird considering they're such an important part of, well, food as a whole. Like, I'm not denying their value as an ingredient, but on their own, I feel like you need a specific mindset to actually enjoy an egg-based meal. And the mindset only comes around every once in a while. Some days I could really go for some pillowy scrambled eggs, maybe with some chives on top, or a sunny side up fried egg cooked on top of a few slices of bacon. But then, once that moment passes, I can't get over how yucky and gooey both of those can be. And the texture isn't my only issue, but taste and smell can vary a lot too. But it's not like they're spoiled or anything. Instead, it is kind of like cilantro, you know? That weird spice that tastes like soap to some people because of, I don't know, some genetic stuff? Like, robots don't have genes, so it's like, whatever, but with eggs, instead of being based on some weird biological gimmick, it just depends on, like, which side of the bed you wake up on. At least it feels like that sometimes. Really, I don't inherently have anything against eggs, but I hate when food tends to taste different sometimes, for no reason whatsoever. It sucks! Because apparently they're pretty good for your health too, at least from what I gather. Like, you know how in some movies, some people drink raw eggs for like protein or something? Yuck! I never understood that either. Okay, fine, it could be super healthy, but raw? Really? Do they even like know where eggs come from? And what they are? That's another thing actually. Eating meat is completely fine because it's not exactly alive and eggs aren't alive either, but like they're pretty much halfway there, right? And sometimes you get those really yucky ones with a chicken actually growing in them. Ugh, ew. Actually, on second thought, I totally do have something against eggs. They're gross and they shouldn't be eaten like at all. It's weird because, well, when most people go on a vegetarian diet, they won't rule out things like pasta, right? But then, what's pasta made of? Flour, salt, and eggs, I think. So like, pasta isn't vegetarian either. It's actually a lot worse than straight up just eating meat. Because you're eating unborn animals. Ew. I really don't like eggs now. Now while we're already on this topic, let's talk about some fruit. Pears. What exactly is the appeal when it comes to pears? Apples are cool. Bananas are cool. Most fruit is cool. But then there's pears. It's not that they're bad or anything, but they're just so dang forgettable. Like, okay, let's take fruit salads as an example. What goes in fruit salads? Usually, it's stuff like apples, grapes, melon chunks, maybe oranges or mandarins if you're feeling brave. Bananas don't really belong in fruit salads unless you have a couple of screws loose in your head. Neither do cantaloupes, yuck by the way, or other weirdo fruits. They don't really belong because of stuff like their texture or whatever. In a fruit salad, you mostly want fresh, vibrant, juicy, and, well, fruity. But you would put them in a fruit salad, they just feel out of place. There's no real, like, reason for that. It's kind of just how it is. But then, like, pears are also weird because of how different they can taste depending on God knows what factors. Like, sometimes pears can be way too soft, but other times they can be really dense and tough. Sometimes they're sweet, other times they're bland. Oh yeah, they tend to do this thing where some of them just taste really sandy and gross. I mean, okay, most fruit can taste really varied, but with apples, for example, they will pretty much never taste awful unless they're rotten or something. With pears, it's much more of a gamble. At least that's what it feels like. I don't want to, like, roll a D20 for fruit quality every time I eat it. That's just weird. Fruit should be simple, right? Like, its flavor should be kind of a given. You don't need to eat a million apples to know what an apple tastes like. Same for bananas and grapes. I mean, okay, different varieties can taste totally different. But when you have a red apple, it's gonna taste like a red apple. With pears though, anything goes. It's weird. And again, I don't even hate pears. I think they can taste pretty good, but like, the key word is can. It's honestly up to chance.
Hold it
Tony. Let's fucking go! I want to make my thoughts clear on something. Genius is an art term. Genius is a really cool fan game, and it definitely had a massive impact on the community. However, that ended with a major downside, which is how it has affected the community's art and creativity. Multiple people have posted incredible art, spurging with creativity just for it to be compared to juniors, which is great if you're comparing it quality-wise, but not if you're comparing it style-wise. Unless an artist is going for a junior style on purpose, whether you mean it with malice or not, saying it's junior's blank is decently aggravating, as it sets the idea that this is great, but juniors is still top tier, to be the only comparative for realism or style nowadays. And yeah, I get it. A lot of today's artists are